What up guys, hope your day is going good. Today I've got a great video for you. So today we're going to be installing Kryptonite products upper and lower ball joints on a 2016 LML. They do have ball joints for all the different years of Duramax trucks, but the LML is definitely one of the hardest, especially the lower ball joint. So today we're going to go over that and I'll give you a couple tips and tricks on how to replace them. For the upper ball joints, this does apply to people with an aftermarket upper A-arm. If you have a stock upper A-arm, you may want to look up how to replace those. There's a lot of videos on YouTube on how to do that with the stock A-arm. I have the D-Max store aftermarket upper A-arm, so it's a lot easier to do that on those compared to the stock arms. I actually recorded this whole thing at my friend's shop at Rampage Fab down in Tacoma, Washington. Currently I'm in Revelstoke, BC, and it's actually snowing outside. Since I did the install video at my friend's shop, it was pretty loud there, so I do have to do a voiceover for everything. So all the different tools that you will need, I'll put right here. One thing I would highly recommend if you have a stock even or a lifted truck like mine, I would definitely just remove the lower A-arms just because it would be so much easier to press those out with a 20-ton press as compared to like an AutoZone ball joint press, which is what I used. All right, and with that, let's get right into the video. So first off, I want to give you guys a comparison between the old ones and the new ones. You can see here that both the old ones, they did tear on both the boots. On the lower one on the right hand side there, you can see that it did tear quite a bit. It completely blew out the side there. On the upper ball joint, it did have an inch long tear in the side, so that's why you can see some grease coming out the side of it. Now the old upper ball joint on there was just a standard aftermarket ball joint. It was not a heavy duty one like these Kryptonite ones are. So you can see on the upper ball joints here, there is quite a bit of play on them. And with the new ones, it takes quite a bit more force to actually get them to move. And same thing with the lower ball joint, it doesn't take much effort to get it to move around, but with the new one, it's a lot harder to move around by hand. One thing I also do want to note before we get started, when you're taking out the lower ball joint, there's three little lips on the ball joint itself that basically need to be pushed inward in order for the ball joint to be pressed out the bottom of the A-arm. Now first thing we're going to do is get the lug nuts loose and then get the truck in the air. Now the day before, I would highly recommend hitting all of the nuts and bolts with PB Blaster. Just makes things a lot easier. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to put the PB Blaster on the day before since I was traveling, so even just a few minutes ahead of time helps a little bit. Now first thing we're going to do is remove the cotter pin for the upper ball joint. Next we'll remove the brake caliper bolts and get the brake caliper up and out of the way. Next, we'll remove the small brake rotor bolt. It may take a little bit of coaxing, and this is where that PB Blaster really helps out for these little bolts that seem to get stuck in there or rusted in there. Sometimes they do strip out, so be careful. Mine just took a little bit of heat and it came right out. Now we can remove the axle nut cover, being careful to not damage it. I just used a small flathead screwdriver and just worked my way around and got it out slowly. We're not going to remove the axle nut completely, as that's going to help us out here in just a minute. Now we'll remove the nut on the upper ball joint, as well as the nut for the tie rod. Now with a little bit of heat and a little bit of persuasion from a 6-pound sledge, the upper ball joint should pop right out. Now with the tie rod end, we will be a little bit nicer to it, so we will apply some more heat to the knuckle so it comes out, but we just need to be careful. Now I did slide the tie rod end back into the hole just so it's holding the knuckle up towards the truck a little bit easier for this next step. We're going to remove the small wheel speed sensor bolt here. Again, you may need to apply some PB Blaster to the bolt. Mine came out pretty easily, so I didn't need to, but just be careful. Now I did also very carefully clean the area around where the wheel speed sensor is plugged in, just so there's no debris getting down in the hole for it. Also, we're going to loosen the lower ball joint nut. We're not going to take it completely off so that when the knuckle does finally pop off, it doesn't fall all the way to the ground. Mine took quite a bit of heat and a lot of hitting to be able to get it to pop off, but eventually it will pop off that lower ball joint. Now we can remove the axle nut completely as well as the washer for it, and then very lightly tapping on the end of the axle as well as pulling towards you on the knuckle so that it starts to work its way out of the hub. Once it gets to the point where it's almost all the way out, you'll now want to remove the nut on the lower ball joint, and then you should be able to wiggle the whole assembly off. Next, I got the axle up and out of the way using a strap. And now we can finally start removing the old upper ball joint. And now install the new Kryptonite upper ball joint with the upgraded hardware, as well as the grease fitting. So these are the 3 indentations that I'm talking about. I'm not sure on the exact name of them, but you do have to push them in order to press the ball joint through the A-arm and out the bottom. I basically just used a large flathead screwdriver that I use for jobs like this, as well as a hammer, and they bent over somewhat easily, but a little bit of heat just to kind of help them a little bit, but there's definitely better tools for the job. Now we can finally press the ball joint out of the lower control arm. This is where I say that taking the lower control arm off would be a lot easier in the long run, is because that lower ball joint is pressed into that lower control arm so tightly that it's just really difficult to get a normal AutoZone ball joint press to press it out. I actually broke one of the ball joint presses where the U part of it is actually welded on to the tube portion on the bottom. You'll definitely want to apply quite a bit of heat to the lower control arm to help get that ball joint to press out. It's just so tightly in there. It just makes it really difficult when it's so cold, because it was about 40 degrees in the shop. Pressing in the new ball joint is a little bit easier than pressing out the old one. Unfortunately, the battery died before we were able to press out the ball joint completely, as well as press the new one in, but it is a pretty straightforward process to be able to do that. So you can see here again how much of a difference it is between the old ball joints compared to how well made the Kryptonite ones are. So basically putting everything back together is going to be just the reverse process of taking it all apart. One thing I would say, if you are doing this by yourself, I would highly recommend having at least 2, possibly even 3 jacks to be able to lift up different portions. I used a 3rd jack to lift up the hub assembly just to help hold it up, since it is pretty heavy. I think it's about 80 pounds or so. So what worked for me to get the hub back on both sides is I turned the hub to the side a little bit to get it up onto the lower ball joint first, and then use my other hand to get the axle pushed into the hub. So a friend of mine actually showed me a little bit better way of using cotter pins, bending one arm around the bolt and then bending the other the opposite direction, just using a flathead screwdriver. So the next few days I will have a 1,000 mile 1 week review video to let you know my thoughts about the product, as well as whether I think that it's worth the extra little bit of money to get these as compared to buying just a regular stock or aftermarket ball joint. Alright, I hope this video helped out anyone that's been looking to replace the ball joints on your LML truck. If you have any questions or anything, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them. I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and we'll see you next time. Thanks.